وكيف يترك هذا الخلق؟ كيف يعني يعالج نفسه؟ هل يعالج نفسه وهكذا التمني؟ لا، يحتاج إلى علم. هذا هو العلم. أين هذا العلم؟ فهل يأخذ بأسباب تعلم هذا العلم؟ يجلس مع أهل العلم، يجلس مع من يوصلونه بهدي النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام، ويعالج نفسه ويجاهد نفسه ويدعو الله عز وجل ويخضع لله عز وجل ويشتد خوفه من الله عز وجل أنه إن مات على هذا الخلق الذميم أو هذا العمل أو كذا. هذا من العلم الذي ينبغي أن يتعلمه المسلم. وكذلك يعني الشباب إلى آخره. From the knowledge, and I hope the younger ones also are listening to me, that from this knowledge is that the knowledge of the deen is not just about what is halal, what is haram, and some very strict issues of matters of the deen, one of which you want to be righteous. And I believe everybody, if you come to the masjid, that means you want to be righteous. You want to be a good Muslim. You want to enter Jannah. You want to be steadfast on the deen of Allah, but you find difficulties. You find temptations. You find that you think sometimes that the deen is taking you away from desires. To be accepted by others, you have to be less religious. You don't look like religious because otherwise people would look down at you. You won't be able to have friends that are, you won't enjoy your life. This is all bad expectations of Allah. The problem is lack of knowledge. If you find this in yourself, that you find yourself don't want to come to the masjid, don't want to humble yourself to the orders of Allah, you find yourself have bad habits, bad deeds, bad actions that you do with your friends, smoking something, right? Many people, they find it easy and it starts gradually, right? And it doesn't go straight to the drugs, for example. It goes from the cigarettes to the shisha, right? Which I read, I'm not sure how true that there is. They said it's like 60 cigarettes when a person is doing this shisha thing. I'm not sure the unit of time or how many he takes in. It's like as if he smoked 60 cigarettes, because it has no filters to it, whatever there is. And this is ruining one's life. But the point is, you know that you have a problem, right? This is the first step. The person knows, I wish I can stay away from it and still be happy, because the shaitan would whisper that if you leave it, you would live a life of misery. If you leave this thing that is you're attached to it so much, you'd be upset and sad and give you headaches. And this is all bad expectations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What if you leave it and you become the happiest person in the world? Wouldn't that be great? Definitely. But then, how to do that? That's ilm. This is the ilm that we need to seek. This is the knowledge that we need to seek. As a person of knowledge, come to the Sheikh in the masjid and ask him, I have a problem. How can I stay away from this problem? It's ruining my life. Why it's ruining your life, although you're enjoying it so much? Because it's against what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. So you get to know the way of the Prophet ﷺ, how to take the steps, how to struggle with yourself, and you put your trust in Allah, you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala till you are relieved from it. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that can change the hearts, can make you hate it so much the same way that you love it so much. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we're not trying enough, we're not being sincere enough to leave it, and definitely we should, because everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ونتذكر في ذلك حديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام في هذا الرجل الذي أتى إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وسأل النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام أن يأذن له في الزنا. فقال له النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هل ترضاه لأمك، ترضاه لخالتك، لعمتك؟ وأخذ النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، لو تدبر الإنسان الحديث، النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يذكر له مثالا أو مثالين وانتهى الأمر عند هذا الحد. لا، يتلطف معه. هل ترضاه لأمك؟ قال لا. قال وكذلك الناس لا يرضونه لأمهاتهم. هل ترضاه لابنتك؟ مش فاكر ترتيب الحديث في الشيخ صحيح إن شاء الله. لابنتك. وكل مرة الرجل يقول لا، النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول وكذلك الناس لا يرضونه لبناتهم. طب خلاص كده، خلصنا عرفنا الطريق ماشي كيف. لا، النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هل ترضاه لعمتك؟ والرجل يقول لا وكذلك الناس. هذه كلها فيها أثر، وهذا من العلم، ولذلك طريقة العلم تختلف عن باقي الناس. هل ترضاه لخالتك؟ وهكذا. ثم بعد ذلك لما أقر الرجل فالنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دعا له، ثم بعد ذلك كان من فضل الله عز وجل عليه أن الله عز وجل بغض إليه هذا الذنب وأصبح أشد ما يغضب كما جاء في الحديث. فهذا كله بإذن من الله عز وجل وتوفيق من الله عز وجل إذا أخذ الإنسان بأسباب الله. The example of the man that came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked him if he can give him permission to commit zina, fornication or billah. That people sometimes they go out of their way and this is in our nature. This urge is there, yes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it haram unless it's done in the halal way. So many people, this is their sin. So he came and asked the Prophet ﷺ to give him permission. For him to come to the Prophet ﷺ, this is a great thing. يعني قضية أنه أتى إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام كان من الممكن أن يذهب ويزني ويرتكب هذه الموبقات، ولكن أتى إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فبركة إتيانه للنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يعني هذه البركة أدت به إلى أن الله عز وجل بغض عليه هذه المعصية. So you see how this man, he came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, although he asked the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم something very evil. When you think about it, he asked the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم to give him permission to commit zina. But the fact that he came to the Prophet ﷺ, he could have done it on his own and he knows that it's sin, and that's it. But see the blessings that he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked him, can you give me permission to do this? Then the Prophet ﷺ was so patient with him, he kept saying, would you like this for your mother? He said no. Then the man said, and the same thing, people don't like this for their mothers. Do you like this for your daughter? And he said no, and he said the same thing, people don't like this for their daughter. And the Prophet ﷺ did not stop there. He mentioned the aunts from the father's side, from the mother's side, and so on. And then he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him that Allah would take away from him this sin. And the man, he said, there's nothing more hated to me now than this sin. So the barakah of coming to the Prophet ﷺ, and the ulama, warathatul anbiya, and the ulama, the people of knowledge, are the inheritors of the prophets. So just for the person to come with this sincerity, this is a great step to be taken. For the person to seek the knowledge, for the person to be patient, to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that made you, wal'ayadu billah, for the person to love the sin, to love the opposite of it, and to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to stay away from it. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's all feasible, and it's all easy by the will of Allah. It's only the ways and the plots of the shaitan that takes us away from this truth. So we need to be serious definitely, and we need to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the matter is easy if we have the proper understanding with the patience to apply what we learn and what we do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our deeds, wa as'al Allah azza wa jalla an yaj'alna mimman yastami'una al-qawla fayattabi'una ahsana, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak.